From Resident Evil to The Walking Dead to 28 Days Later, World War Z, the apocalypse, the zombie apocalypse to be more specific. There are so many movies, so many video games portraying this scenario, but what if there is a darker truth behind this? What if this is to actually prepare us for something that is coming? We're going to be talking about Conplan 8888, which was the United States Strategic Command's official plan for preparing the world for a zombie apocalypse. From radiation zombies to plant-based zombies to even occult magic zombies, evil magic zombies, EMZs. And then my favorite one, symbiote-induced zombies. So come with me in this video and we're going to talk about all classes of zombies, what the government has planned to prepare us for it, what to keep in your house, what to keep in your car in case this shit hits the fan. So before we get into the video, I want to start off with talking about blue light type of zombies first. How people are controlled easily by media, are influenced easily by social media and other platforms, influenced by the TV. Then I want to kind of lean into the parasitical type of zombies, parasites, which could put people in a zombie mind state, a zombie state of mind. Then I want to lean into brain technology creating zombies, weaponized zombies through CRISPR gene editing, which they can use to cure cancer. Let's be real, CRISPR can be used to cure cancer, but they're creating GMO parasites and shit like that to do crazy things you'll see in the video. But yeah, so I'm gonna start off on a more down-to-earth level, just like the blue light. We're going to lean the topic slowly into parasites, the diseases that can create a human parasite or a human zombie, or occult practices that can create zombies, cosmic events that can create zombies. So stay tuned. Okay, so I want to talk to you guys about the importance of light. Light is information. Your skin absorbs it, your eyes absorb it. Well, so each frequency of light, each spectrum of light has its own wavelength. These wavelengths can either be harmful to the body or very positive for the body and healing for the body. So blue light is one of those things that's too harmful for the body because it's too rapid. Its wavelengths are too high and it's too dangerous for the body. Like, being out in nature is your best bet. Getting that natural sunlight. But instead we're surrounded by LED lights, these UV lights, bro.
Time-lapse cameras were used in a standard first-grade classroom, and several hyperactive children may be noted, especially the boy in the immediate foreground. "90 days after the regular cool white fluorescent tubes were replaced with the new type full-spectrum fluorescent tubes with radiation shields, there was a marked improvement noted, and the extremely hyperactive boy has voluntarily moved up to the front row. He raises his hand for recognition and is now up at the blackboard taking part in classroom activities. Prior to the time that this new lighting was installed, this particular boy had an extreme learning disability problem, but quickly learned to read within 90 days after the new lights were installed. There was further noted a general average improvement in both the behavior and academic achievement of the entire class. There are, however, other factors that must also be considered. The implications of the biological effects of light and radiation, as observed through time-lapse photography, are obvious.
Well, think about it this way. Remember being in school, sitting there in a classroom with those overhead lights, and you're just feeling drained, you're tired, you're miserable, you're fucking feeling like you're dying, nigga. You feel zombified, right? And that's the same effect that's happening to us by just these screens alone, and our laptop screens, the TV screens, right? Now, you can combat all this by just literally getting outside and putting your feet in the ground, right? Putting your bare feet in the grass and absorbing that sunlight and detoxing, right? So I got these two LED light, blue light glasses. Like, I can see perfectly fine, but I'm on my phone pretty often making these videos, editing and stuff like that. So I wear these. That's another way to protect yourself. And the thing is too, like, people are up all night wondering, why can't I sleep? They're sitting here glued to their phones and doom scrolling, like, absorbing that blue light. It can cause you to fuck up your circadian rhythm, your biological clock, where you sit here and you're going against that and timing, right? You're not sleeping at a normal time like a human being should, so your body can function properly the next day. right? And this can cause you to have just lack of sleep, lack of cognitive function. Your metabolism's fucked, your skin's fucked. Look, this shit, I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. So excuse my French. If you don't like the cussing, just dip out the video. Actually, since I'm outside, I'm a low-key take these off because I like my eyes to absorb the light. All right, so now that we got all that out the way, I'm going to present you guys with a quick documentary, a brief documentary. Maybe it's about 15 minutes long. It's going to explain the harms of blue light, and then it's going to get into like the origins of it. Actually, it comes down to mind control, hypnosis. These were the origins of this type of light frequency, and it gets into the mafia, the CIA. So make sure you stay tuned for this video.
The reason that all your computer screens are blue lit, the reason none of them are red lit, the reason none of them pay attention to circadian biology is because that original technology was developed in a government program that Bobby Kennedy knows about, and I happen to know about because I went to medical school at LSU. For those of you who've never heard about Operation Paperclip, you think it's all conspiracy theory. So at Tulane Neurology and Tulane Neurosurgery in the 50s and 60s and 70s and 80s, the CIA started a program there where they would do all these crazy things to monkeys. The CIA wanted to see how they could control things utilizing different things like drugs and things like that. Where the neurosurgeons got involved, which is my clade, we would drill tops of the heads off, put wires into the thalamus, put electricity in there, and kind of see what kind of behavioral changes we could have. One of the guys that was in that program was a guy named Professor Delgado. When he saw that we could control the behavior with the wired device, he said, what if we do it wirelessly? So he checked it in monkeys and checked it in bulls, and it turned out you can do it wirelessly with RFID chips and semiconductors.
Electronic mind control research is not new. A scientific milestone in this area came in the 1960s when Dr. Jose Delgado demonstrated remote control over a charging bull. By connecting a radio antenna to electrodes inserted into the bull's brain, Delgado proved that the animal's aggressive impulses could be thwarted by electronically manipulating the bull's muscle reflexes.
Do you realize the fantastic possibilities if from the outside we could modify the inside? Could we give messages to the inside? But the beauty is that now we are not using electrodes.
In recent years, Delgado has shown that the behavior of monkeys can be altered using low-power, pulsating magnetic fields. But in these experiments, there were no antenna implants.
Any function in the brain, emotions, intellect, personality, well, could be perhaps modified by this non-invasive technology.
Then the CIA took it to the next level. They said, well, since this is electromagnetic radiation, what if we did it through light through screens? And it turns out you can. And that's the reason why all your computer screens have the frequencies they have. So why is this all important? Well, the person that set this meeting up between me and Bobby is the patent attorney that made sure that Google and Meta have those things so they can control the things that we all do. Where did the original idea come from that started off in MK Ultra with the CIA? You're going to be surprised when you hear this. It came from the mafia in Las Vegas. They wanted to build a new city in a desert. They enclosed it all, blacked out the windows, invented slot machines that were blue lit. And they found out that they didn't have to take a gun, stick it in your face to steal your money. Then they even got smart. They said, let's give people free alcohol while they're doing that. And they found out they got the money quicker. And that's when the CIA got the idea to start this program.
I'm going to show you a little bit of Dr. Frankenstein shit right here with brain to computer interface with a blue light signal.
That we recognize it and benefit from new possibilities.
Alright, so I'm hoping you guys are following along because this video is going to be very intense with the information we're trying to present here. So next we're going to get into sound, silent frequencies, voice to skull. We're going to get into how this can have an influence on people that have these riffhead chips, these Manchurian candidates, right? People that have unknowingly experiments. So you could be sitting here with a 5G router in your crib, and because you haven't been flushing your body with from the heavy metals, since you haven't been flushing heavy metals out of your body, right? You've got these tiny smart boxes, these micro boxes that can like self-assemble thanks to the graphene oxide, right? They can start assembling more into a bigger like type of chip, a type of riffhead chip. It sounds a bit out there, but trust me. So what this does is it makes it easier for you to control and like become more influenced by electromagnetic signals that are coming out of directed energy weapons. All right, let's get into mind control via sound.
There was a classified project called Operation Spectrum, using ultrasonic and electromagnetic frequencies to subtly influence people's thoughts, emotions, and actions, all without them realizing it. Certain frequencies have been found to cause everything from mild anxiety and discomfort to calmness and even compliance. By adjusting the frequency output, they can make a crowd restless, focused, or subdued, all without a single word. Theoretically, this could be used on mobile emitters, devices embedded in streetlights, traffic cameras, and even cell towers. These emitters would be capable of influencing whole neighborhoods at once, creating moods or reactions in the population without anyone noticing, using frequencies to calm crowds or disperse them without force.
You can use this artificial intelligence voice in the head to break down the ego and control an individual.
Ultimately, yes. You can't plug your eardrums. You can't stop the sound. A lot of the targets are tricked into believing evil aliens have abducted their brains. Demons.
They're tricked.
Yes.
How are they tricked?
They're told.
By who?
By the voices. A lot of these school shootings, I think that you hear about on the news, they hear voices.
We've learned that Cruz told the BSO detective that he heard a demon in his head.
And police now say he also heard voices.
Who heard voices in his head.
The scripts, they're called, and they're meant to confuse, the very derogatory. That's just typical breakdown. And why would you want to break down the ego of that person? To rebuild it. So this gets into creating Manchurian candidates.
Police have released video made by the man who opened fire at Florida State University.
In Project Soulcatch, I referred to a Myron May, right? As a psychobomb. They didn't care who the target was. They were just trying to make him explode and do something bad. He was a lawyer trained there. His reasoning why he shot up the school was he needed news publicity to make sure people understood this was real. And he left the video testimony.
As sick as this may sound, I've even had stalkers follow me into church.
He believed government stalkers were harassing him and using a direct energy weapon to hurt him.
But he gave out 7 packages in the mail, and the FBI intercepted them all.
What were in these packages?
Just information. Just information.
May then opened fire at an FSU library, wounding 3 people. He was killed in a shootout with police.
If these people do explode and do something bad like this, there's absolutely no way to prove that there has been any sort of manipulation to the brain. In this guy's case, he talked about it. I mean, obviously he talked,
but it was covered up.
The way they write the article, he sounds like a crazy person.
Yeah. So we can't hear this. It's going to, I haven't turned it on yet. When I do, it's going to blast out a 65 kilohertz beam. Because the wavelength is so small, it doesn't spread. Because 65 kilohertz has a wavelength like that. So it's going to be, in that sense, similar to a laser. It just comes right out as a beam. Now, how do we make that audible? Well, they put a modulation on top of the 65 kilohertz. There's a modulation. And now, here's the next thing I have to tell you. That 65 kilohertz is very high amplitude. It won't hurt you, we don't think. Okay? You certainly can't hear it, and we don't think it'll hurt you. And it's very high amplitude. And what happens when you have two sound waves like this, sound plus sound can create sound, but only at high amplitudes. At low amplitudes, sound waves just travel right through each other. You may be sort of familiar with this. But at high amplitude, you can create sound. So what happens in this apparatus is the audio sound, the sound that you're going to hear, is actually created in the beam, not here. And because it's created in the beam and it stays in the beam, we have a beam of sound. So let me demonstrate this for you. Let me turn it on. And I'm going to find the piece of music that we like.
Yeah.
You may not like it.
The Eagles? You like the Eagles? Okay, good. Oh, we have a friendly audience this year.
Yeah. I think they're just saying it to make us feel better.
Right. All right.
It's worth the $2,000. It's not our money. Now, the sound that you're hearing is being created in this beam. It almost sounds like it's coming from your head. So let me try to scan the whole audience just so everybody gets to hear this. Absolutely remarkable. Pete, are you getting it?
Can we go from Wi-Fi radio signals, sort of like the Wi-Fi routers in your house, they're bouncing off radio signals that work sort of like sonar. Can you go from that to where human beings are, to images? So what they did is they had, a camera looking at a space with people in it. That's sort of like coming in from one eye. The other eye is the radio signals, so sonar from the Wi-Fi router. And they just learned to predict, this is where the human beings are. Then they took away the camera. So all the AI had was the language of radio signals bouncing around a room, and this is what they're able to reconstruct. Real-time 3D pose estimation, right? So suddenly AI has turned every Wi-Fi router into a camera that can work in the dark, specially tuned for tracking living beings.
Did you know Apple just applied for a patent so that they can retrofit AirPods to read your mind? Oh. They're fitting them with electromagnetic sensors. And you guys remember when we talked about they could hook a brain machine up to a person and they could look at something and they could use AI to generate the picture?
Yeah.
So that technology, rather than a full helmet via sensors in AirPods, they've successfully done the same thing. Everybody's electromagnetic pulses are different. It's a process of learning. And so they mine and log all of the thoughts, all of the pulses.
Are these in the current headphones?
Sure. No. The article I found said they did it successfully 5 years ago.
Oh. Weird.
But you know how they updated the iPhone 15 in France with a software update so it wasn't spitting out radiation?
Oh, yeah.
They probably can do the same thing with all.
So this is not out of the realm of these very nefarious people, like in the CIA and these other types of secret societies and institutions of our government. We're now finding out the use of AI can be used against people. We've already heard from the World Economic Forum that they have the ability with AI to be able to read people's thoughts by putting in a little Bluetooth in someone's ear, that they can actually see what someone is actually thinking about as they're working. And they're going to sell it to us, Allison, as this is going to be good for employment, because employers will know whether or not their employees are daydreaming or thinking about other things other than the job. But what is it saying? It is saying that they now possess the ability to read our thoughts and now weaponize us with acoustical types of things that can be sent to us that throws us off balance or makes us feel crazy. This is all, where is it going? All about controlling the narrative, controlling people.
Absolutely. That is most certainly what it is all about, as has been made rather clear over the past couple years especially. But yeah, I think this could obviously take an extremely dangerous turn here. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if this led to targeting and testing and even like torturing of innocent civilians, which brings me to my next thought, which is the inevitable threat of artificial intelligence mixing into all this, right? Mix AI into the use of neuroweaponry and you get an entirely new uncharted territory.
And the whole idea is that we would have these biological sensors in our bodies, and then they could read our thoughts, know our emotions, know whether we're hungry or not, or anything like that. And so now it's a warfare of information. They will have everything on you. They will know we're coming and going. And so this kind of warfare, this kind of being able to target individuals. And think about this. There is no way to detect. There's no entry point. There's no exit point like a bullet would have. Yeah. They could just target somebody and they're saying, yeah, he went crazy. Yeah, I'm sorry. We and then turn a kill switch on somebody and, them lose a thread. Now,
watch this. The image of a giraffe that the computer has never seen. It's only looking at the fMRI data. And this is what the computer thinks the human is seeing. Yeah. But of course it goes further. So in this one, they said, can they understand the inner monologue, the things you're saying to yourself in your own mind? Mind you, by the way, when you dream, like your visual cortex runs in reverse, so your dreams are no longer safe. But we'll try this. So they had people watch a video and just narrate what was going on in the video in their mind. So there's a woman, she's hit in the back, she falls over. This is what the computer reconstructed the person thinking. See a girl, looks just like me, get hit in the back, and then she is knocked off. So our thoughts, are starting to be decoded. Yeah, just think about what this means for authoritarian states, for instance.
How are you finding all of this out?
Years of research. The McDonald's Corporation just had an ad come out a few months ago that they're looking into research and development in a technology that will afford them the ability to pump their commercials into your brain while you're sleeping.
Neuro rights. These are the patents I am mostly concerned about. Okay? Monitor a subject neurological condition through EMF remote aimed at the skin. Excuse me? They issued a patent for that. Reads subject's brain waves and sends stimuli to the subject to alter their brainwave as a desired control. Control subject brainwaves by sharing modulated light signal. Alter subject's brain state. Control subject brain state by adding control and covert frequency onto musical composition. All these things are designed to alter your behavior, which is remarkable. Transmits, alters moods, emotion, and changes sleep state. Method remotely identifies individuals, makes voices emanate. Folks, who's in charge of this?
Alright, I hope that segment wasn't too long for you guys, but I'm trying to get you to really understand, this shit is serious and it's deep, right? And if you really care, you're going to watch that whole documentary. It's alright. I know some people, there's maybe a handful of people that will. But anyway, so the light, brain, and computer interface, right? these sounds, right, these signals, right, they all connect to control in the internet of bodies. This is a transhumanist agenda. And I'm gonna just say, this is really a colonization process right now. We're actually like, this planet has been invaded by entities of some other origin for centuries now, and this is a way for them to colonize and work through us, because these are artificial intelligence beings. Their souls, it's some crazy shit, but trust me, this is a colonization process that we're going through right now. Make sure you're fucking fasting so you're getting all this metal out of you and all that crap, right? Anyway, so now I'm gonna show you what this all comes down to, and it's the Lucifer's project. This Project Lucifer, turning people into zombies by destroying their prefrontal cortex and their cognitive thinking, and making them run rapid out in the streets, whether it's through like these signals, right? Parasites, CRISPR gene edited parasites, right? That'll cause you to have different behavior. I'm going to show you what this shit is coming down to, and then we're gonna get into we're finally gonna get into Conplan 8888.
I really can't make this shit up right now. Oh my god. Look at this. Look at this. We're about to go live right now, guys. We're going live right now. Look at those devices. We all seen the files. We know exactly what it's doing along with the blue light. Look at it. Everything here is blue, guys. We're going live right now. We're going live right now. Holy shit.
Hold up. Hold on, y'all. Wait. Do y'all remember what they said that these street lights were supposed to do, bro? Like, do y'all remember that shit? Just peep the difference, man. I know y'all remember this 2020 shit. Hold on, yo. Look at this fucking video.
Street light. Let's see what's inside. Uh-oh.
Now, if we just pay attention to what the fuck is going on around us, y'all. Bro, the street lights, bro, along with the color, now we all know that colors do shit, bro. Why did they change it from white lights to purple lights at nighttime, guys? What the fuck?
Guys, I really can't make this shit up right now. Everybody inside this bus is getting scanned up, guys. Everybody inside the bus is getting scanned up. And they have no idea what's going on. None. Look, they start scanning you up once you turn off. Once they close the door, they start scanning you up, guys. Once you close the door and you start going, they start scanning you up.
Oh my god. This is so scary, guys. They're doing it, guys. They had to create the 5G towers and the blue lights, which happened while you were home to save lives and take something. So they told the scientists that they needed to have the 5G towers with the blue lights and the you-know-what from 2020. I'm not going to say what, but Fauci recommended it a lot, Dr. Fauci. All those three things combined, once you took that, their DNA is altered. So when they release a signal of 18 gigahertz, jump from the quantum computers through the 5G towers, through the blue lights into possessing the bodies of those who took the you-know-what, turning them into complete zombies. They're going to search for death and not find it. When the time is right, they're going to release a signal of 18 gigahertz pulsating for 1 minute 3 different times, cracking open the nanoparticle gels that holds a pathogen that deletes gene 1p36. That gene is responsible for critical thinking.
Particles, the hydrogel, there exists pathogens inside of the particles that have not yet opened. Those pathogens are chimeric. They include E. coli, Marburg, Ebola, Staphylococcus, and brewer's yeast, amongst others. We know that upon the broadcast from the 5G system that is now employed across the United States, and the world for that matter, when they broadcast an 18 gigahertz signal for 1 minute, 3 different times as a pulse, it will cause those lipid nanoparticles to swell and release these pathogenic contents, thereby causing a Marburg epidemic that they've already spent the money on. It's already done, right? The Marburg epidemic, for purposes of the law, has happened, and now we just need the actual disaster to happen. And there's actually worse parts to it than that, including the 1p36 gene deletion that effectively will turn those poor people into zombies. Odd as that sounds, our government's preparing for that.
Thank you.
So this is first under regular light and you can't see anything?
Correct. The lights will go off and we will then activate
365 nanometer wavelength, and this poor woman is now glowing.
It is easy to dismiss the work of Dr. Anna Maria Mielchia, for it is very disturbing, but her work is shown through scientific testing and backed up by government and NGO documentation. And the evidence shows that humanity has already been infected with cutting-edge surveillance nanotechnology. This is a follow-up to my last report on Dr. Mielchia's hydrogel research. New research shows that those who received the COVID shots emit a fluorescent orange glow in their faces that is visible under a UV light of 365 nanometers. And those who have been exposed to shedding emit this glow around their nose. After his wife was coerced into getting the COVID shot, PhD Justin Coy began his own research. He found that the more shots a person received, the more they glowed under UV light. The glow can be seen initially around the nose, and over time spreads throughout the entire face and into the neck. After a hot shower, filaments are expelled through the skin of the vaxxed, and these filaments also emit a glow under UV light. The Pfizer trial document stated that an unvaxxed individual in close proximity to someone who's been vaxxed can be infected by inhalation and skin contact. In 2008, a biological nanotechnology pesticide designed to kill the brown moth in the state of California was deployed and appears to have included the same sort of fluorescent invisible microdye that we see in the scientific research. Dr. Hildegard Staninger tested individuals exposed to this nanotech pesticide and found that a glow could be detected in their eyes under UV light. Dr. Staninger called this the Eye of Horus effect due to its similar appearance.
This isn't a conspiracy theory. This is all real. All the patents exist. They're developing a microneedle patch funded by Bill Gates. They're going to use it to inject luciferase in your skin, under your skin, so they can scan you with a light or an app on your phone to see if you're vaccinated or not, or how infected you are in the next coming pandemic that they already have planned.
Alright, so hopefully the dots are connected, the gears are grinding, right? There's one more segment to this video, and it's Conplan 8888. And this is an official document where these are official papers where the Strategic Command, the United States Strategic Command, has formulated a plan against a zombie threat. And now apparently this is just supposed to be like for training purposes, like for fun, shits and giggles, right? A little practice so the trainees, the new probies can understand how to follow a fucking strategy plan or some shit. Like, in my opinion, a little hogwash, because let's be real, you could have done something a lot better than a fucking zombie. You could have done a real life scenario, like a hostage situation or some shit. I don't know. I already explained it all in this next clip, but I will say this next clip, I took this at the start of the new year. I'm in the future right now. This clip was in the past. It's taking me a while to record this shit. I just been very busy with work and a lot of personal shit, a lot of self-care, all that. Hopefully you guys have understand this video so far. Feel free to leave in the comments if you feel like you've been a victim of voice to skull, because I can definitely say that I have been a victim of this voice to skull, these gene editings. Oh, it's a kitty cat. You see? So I will say I've personally been a victim of some of this stuff. I experienced, it's kind of crazy how they call it the Eye of Horus effect when it comes to this luciferase, like glowing parasite activation shit. I remember I was mirror gazing one day and like my left eye, this eye, which is the Eye of Horus, activated in like a golden color. And like I just remember like everything kind of changed after that. Like I started seeing things, like I started having like weird hallucinations. I was researching the black goo at the time as well, like transhumanism. Like I've always been trying to do, researching transhumanism, which is the true alien invasion. They get the aliens already here. It's this black goo sentient being that uses the graphene oxide of replicating nanotechnology to self-replicate within the blood vessels and the organs of our body, and turning us into a host for this being so it can reproduce. And then finally over time with these signals, our bodies would be broken down and mutated into this being, basically, like everybody, like on some Spider-Man shit, Venom. That's basically how it is. If you played Spider-Man 2, especially, that's really how it would be. But I do remember just going through like a psychosis moment, and I went to the hospital. They asked me if I wanted the COVID vaccine. Well, actually, first of all, they interrogated me talking about some, do you feel like you have you could astral project? Do you feel like you've had out-of-body experiences? Do you feel like you're in a simulation? Do you feel like this is a matrix? I'm just like, yeah. How do y'all know this shit? And I'm telling you, these doctors were like a little bit weird. Like, I can't even remember their names. I gotta find my papers from UVA. But yeah, nah. For some reason, they finally were like, all right, so you don't want the COVID shot? Do you want the flu shot? And I looked at the people, like, what? Mind you, I'm just going through it, all right? So I look at the person, he just shakes his head. I'm like, yeah, I will. Got that in my left arm like a dumbass. And after some time being at that hospital, you know, they were interrogating me, basically, like, asking me, like, who I thought I was. Like, because they were like, we've seen your YouTube channel, we've seen this and that. Like, you're talking about the Anunnaki. What's the Anunnaki? You know, what's reincarnation and all this stuff, and can you explain it? And they weren't really too focused on my mental health at all. They were more so focused on like this spiritual shit. They had a whole classroom dedicated to that. Like, I would be interviewed by people on tablets and shit like that to talk about the Anunnaki and reincarnation and these like just a lot of shit, honestly. And I'm just like, yo, when can I dip though? Finally, I get home and I learn that UVA has this other branch called the Division of Perceptual Studies, where they research a lot of that, you know, past life stuff and ESP and all that crap. Anyway, while I'm home, after a few days, like, I just feel like the left side of my body starts to collapse, like, in my neck. It starts to like twist. I start twisting. I feel a pain in my neck. And I start like kind of twisting and shit. Now I'm trying to talk and I can't really talk, and like I feel like the left side of my face is just literally collapsing. And honestly, it still kind of feels a little bit fractured up here. So when we talk about this P136 gene being deleted, you know, at the front to like kind of create the zombie effect, there is that twisting at the neck and some people drop dead and shit like that. Dude, you guys have literally watched the sky change while I've been yapping, bro. This video is so long, bro. My bad. But I didn't say I was going to go into great detail on my Instagram. I've been going crazy. Not really. I've been taking a break, but I told everybody I would be back with longer videos. So I'm not really sorry. Like, I'm going to be gone. I'm not going to be posting as much on my socials and shit like that. So I may as well just plop everything down into one video, take my break, do what I got to do with my own life, come back, drop another long-ass video. So everything's explained as much as possible, so you don't have to sit here and wait for me to come back for another part 2 or part 3, right? Anyway, so that being said about the psych ward and all that shit, you know, I went back and I ended up having to go back because of that whole thing. I remember my mom was like, just pray in the name of Jesus, and I did. You know, I lived and all that. I'm here. So I do remember like leaving my body. I do remember leaving my body and seeing like Earth. It was looking a little flat, but I'm not too sure, you know. I'm just being dead ass. So there was a guy next to me and we were just talking and all that shit. Some black dude. I don't remember too much. But anyway, my point is, after I got out the ward, you know, I had some people I had known, you know, that I still kept in contact with after we had all gotten out. And I asked them, like, did they ask you, like, if you were in the Matrix or if, like, you believed in astral projection, all that shit? They were like, hell no. I'm just like, that's crazy. I have like hella journals written down about that whole experience too. But then, you know, after that whole thing, even when I was in that hospital too, I was having crazy dreams about like Nazi Germany and like experiments and shit like that, which was insane. Fast forward, I'm having weird experiences at home now where like it just feels like I can hear like technology talk. That's what it felt like, technology talking to me. My 5G router talking to me and shit like that. And I just remember going insane and like throwing the router in the trash can. Like it felt like my TV was talking to me and trying to tell me like things. Like I felt like I was seeing the future through the TV. Like I was having crazy things happening to me and hearing like different signals, feeling different like burns in different spots of my body. It was crazy. Ended up going to the mental hospital. And that was all, bro. That's a story time video right there. That shit might damn near be an hour long. I'm glad I wrote down everything too that's happened in those places. I journaled everything to the point like you'll see like where I'm out of my mind up to the point where I'm finally sobered up and I'm just talking still like explaining my experiences and shit. But anyway, enough yapping. Let's finally get into Conplan 8888. First off, I would like to say Happy New Year's on the Gregorian calendar. For real, it's not really the New Year's, but I'll say it anyway for those that do celebrate January 1st. Conplan 8888. There are 5 phases to fighting this apocalypse. My notes here. I got all my... Don't look at my handwriting. Got my notes here. Because I can't just talk about this shit off the top of my head. There's so much information. But in 2009, the United States Strategic Command released Conplan 8888, which was 31 pages of military strategy of surviving a zombie apocalypse. You alright? You cold? I got my doggy here, and this nigga is shivering his timbers. I feel bad as fuck. I might have to send him back inside. You alright? Damn, you shaking. It ain't that cold out here. It's like only 26 degrees. Alright. So, I'm going to read the 5 phases that the government is using for zombie apocalypse. So, the 5 phases, we start with phase 0, shaping our environment, monitoring disease, vectors, outbreaks, and the epidemic. Phase 1, Dieter, preventing enemies from creating their own zombies. You see, this shit can be weaponized. Everything's weaponized. Biochemicals, mRNA, gene editing. But, that we're going to get into that later. So, phase 2, seizing the initiative, providing assistance to local authorities, and quarantine zones are created and enforced. Phase 3, dominate, response, counter, dominate, respond, counter. U.S. military locks down and retreats to fortified bases for 40 days. Phase 4 and 5 are essentially the same. Stabilize the government, try to bring back civilization. The military will come out of their fortified bases, assess the situation, make sure everything's good, see how bad the outbreak is. And if it's still pretty shitty, they just go back for another 40 days into the fortified bases. Conplan 8888 explains the different categories of zombies, range from pathogenic, chronic wasting, mad cow disease, parasites, symbiote-induced zombies, radiation zombies, space zombies, evil magic zombies. So I'm going to go down this list of zombies for you guys. Really, the most likely scenario could be pathogenic zombies, when viruses or bacteria infect humans, like rabies, for example. It will attack the nervous system, creating aggression and violence. So that's kind of what you see in 28 Days Later and The Last of Us, or World War Z. Then you have some scenarios like prion disease, which is a misfolded protein that destroys brains and the nervous system. Then after that, we have chronic wasting disease, which makes deer stumble around like zombies due to their lack of fear, right? You see this all the time. Like at a public park, a deer could come out. People are all engaging with it and shit. I'm just like, bro, y'all don't know that these niggas could be carrying some type of, not only rabies, but some weird parasites and shit like that. But after chronic wasting, we have the mad cow disease, which is infected beef, creating, oh God. I wrote this down, but I still don't know how to, I always have trouble pronouncing it. Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease, rapid mental deterioration, aggression, loss of coordination, and just personality swings and all types of crazy shit, right? So then we have Kyoru, infects cannibals who eat infected brains. Because some people indulge in eating their ancestors. When a loved one passes away, they will eat the brains of that loved one at the funeral, like it's a fucking feast. Don't know really how I feel about that, but yeah, you get Kyoru from that, and basically you just mood changes. You're not yourself. You start craving more of that human flesh. It infects cannibals. So, yeah, another way for a zombie apocalypse to happen. Then we get parasites. This is my favorite one. Parasites, symbiote-induced parasites. If you don't know what a symbiote is, think of venom. So most diseases kill their host, but SIZ, symbiote-induced zombies, will use you rather than kill you. For example, the jewel wasp in Costa Rica, they inject venom into their prey, and their prey becomes compliant with them. It is under like a spell, so it'll follow this, the wasp back to its nest, where this venom that was injected into the prey would then become this type of egg, and that egg will hatch from the stomach of the prey, and out comes another wasp, another jewel wasp, ready to start the cycle all over again. When I tell you that shit's weaponized, you don't even want to know. So we got Ophlocordyceps, which is a fungus turning ants into zombies. You can even look up zombie ants. This is kind of the same thing of like the storyline in The Last of Us, where like this fungal infection was going around, and that's what was like turning people into zombies. So you got fungi. Then you got African sleeping sickness, which was transmitted by, what the fuck did I write here? Look, I won't even cap, nigga. I don't know what I tried to write here, but you got African sleeping sickness, which is another way. Then we have Toxoplasma gondii, a single cell parasite. So 30% to 50% of humans carry this. It's become common because household pets like cats. Toxoplasma gondii, the parasite, it took scientists 2 years to just finally kill one of these beings with sulfuric acid. Soap doesn't kill them, freezing temperatures doesn't kill them. Oh yes, even cockroaches can carry this and spread it. When you are infected with Toxoplasma gondii, humans take more risk, they're aggressive, personality changes, mental health issues, fevers, chills, sweats, headaches, sore throat, swollen lymph nodes, muscle aches, seizures, fatigue, blurred vision, light sensitivity, you're seeing floaters, coughing, shortness of breath. So those are all the likely scenarios on how a zombie outbreak could happen. Through pathogenic zombies, parasites, symbiote-induced zombies, you got fungal zombies, and then Toxoplasma gondii and all that shit. So yeah, it's a lot. My bad. We're going to get into the different classes of zombies. So you got radiation zombies, which they classify as RZ. This is caused by absorbing extreme electromagnetic radiation, like nuclear accidents, dirty bombs, cosmic radiation. The most powerful CMEs to happen in human history was in 1859, the Carrington event. An event like that just knocks out the power grid, sends out these huge bursts of auroras and shit like that, can cause the body to mutate. So when you hear like back on December 21st, 2020, people like me, over here believing, yo, the CMEs, the solar flares, they're going to activate us. There is some truth to that, but they want us to be so dumbed down, like we will actually run out into some radioactive shit. So just be careful with some of the things you're hearing out here from other people. The sun does unravel our DNA, and it does activate dormant genes and shit like that, but it's obviously right here, radiation zombies can happen due to CMEs, so be careful, niggas. Radiation doesn't always kill, it can create a new type of human that can be weaponized. There we go. Chemical weapons affect behavior and brain function, like Cold War psychological chemical agents. Then you have CRISPR, alters organisms at the genetic level. Hostile nations can create controlled zombies. So this is how these zombies can be weaponized. This is what phase 2, right? Phase 2, seize initiative. Oh wait, my goofy ass. Phase 1, Dieter, preventing enemies from creating zombies. So yeah, that's how it can be weaponized. Zombies can be weaponized. You got biochemicals, you got CRISPR, which can alter organisms at the genetic level, which goes into like a lot of my parasites and transhumanist talk, right? CRISPR is used to turn people like us, regular citizens, into weapons. And it's not good, dude. Y'all need to lock into your dreams, because like your dreams will tell you everything you need to know, especially if you're but I promise you guys, they are creating weapons out here, Manchurian candidates. So we can move on to space zombies. Now this might sound crazy, but look, xenophiles that can live in extreme, like no human can live in that type of like condition, environment, bottom of the ocean. Then you got some out in space that live in the vacuum of space. So these beings could, be carried here by a meteorite that landed, crash landed in like the Tuskegee event in 1908, for example. It could have left an alien contaminant, which they believe the only way to stop space zombies is with nuclear warfare, which is unfortunate. So moving on though, next zombie, evil magic zombies, EMZs. These are caused by occult phenomenon. Must burn corpse or the source of evil zombie. Or take out the source of this evil zombie. Right? This shit, you can't make this shit up. I'm showing y'all the official document right here. And finally, last thing I'm going to read from this document. The military created psychological plans to prepare the world for an apocalypse. The Walking Dead was released around the same time Conplan 88 was released. Because Conplan, the plan came out in 2009. Walking Dead came out in 2010. And the way they want to prepare us is with this psychological plan to show us these movies like Resident Evil, The Walking Dead, 28 Days Later, and this is to, you know, get our subconscious, get us prepared subconsciously for this type of thing. And that's always been the truth. You know, this is some occult shit, like Aleister Crowley, like how they they used arts for their rituals. You know, not saying this is really a ritual, but they put the truth in the movies. It's always been a thing. It's like really an occult thing. I'm gonna take a break. Hold up. It's cold as shit out here. Alright. So one thing you guys can do to prepare is getting on Amazon. There are these kits. I can send you the link, or I'll put the links in the description. And these links will take you to fleeing bags, bug out bags you can put in your car, survival kits, right? A lot of survival kits, honestly. Antibiotics, a bunch of medicine, a bunch of like supplements and shit to help you survive an apocalypse, like things that can help filter your water. There's a lot of things. I'll leave it in the description below. At the end of the day, you're gonna want to have radios, have your own community, have your own land, more importantly, guns, all that shit. So get ready.